America is a country based on numbers and statistics, and when viewed through the lens of worker satisfaction and unemployment, that number is minuscule. As of a poll taken in December of 2012, we have 7.8% unemployment in the U.S., a number that has remained unchanged since November. 7.8% unemployment figures 12.2 million people without jobs in the country. Although 155,000 jobs have been created in the past year, the numbers show that the unemployment rate is unacceptable. Out of the workers who do in fact have jobs, approximately 1.1 million of those workers say they are dissatisfied with their job. These numbers may seem insignificant for those who do have jobs, but for the 12 million Americans without jobs, the future seems hopeless. In hopes of stabilizing our economy, we must return the unemployment rate to nearly 5%.
Now, we need more cost-effective job creation policies because we're short over 10 million jobs compared to if we wanted to get back the employment population ratio we had at the beginning of the recession. This job gap has significant long-run economic costs, not just social costs, because research suggests that about 1/5 of involuntary long-run unemployment becomes chronic, which permanently lowers the productive capacity of our economy.
With that said, the most important issue that our president should consider is the issue of rebuilding and stabilizing our economy by reducing unemployment.
Now, Mr. President, one may ask, how would you propose to make more jobs for the unemployed citizens? To answer the question, one must address where our country will stand in the future. As we look towards how technology will develop, what sort of jobs can be created for generally unskilled workers to get our country back on track. We must also look to our past to see how we have overcome economic struggles throughout history. In the 1920s, when our country faced its worst economic collapse to date, the only way to overcome this recession was to engage in warfare. Creating jobs including military positions, factory jobs which created equipment, and even farming jobs to make produce for the soldiers. However, war is not a positive way to stimulate job production.
The fact of the matter is, when our country needed jobs, jobs were created. The only way to pull us out of a recession is to motivate the people to work. However, when unemployment benefits equal the amount a citizen can make while working, people are inspired to stop working. One way to prevent this from happening is to take into consideration the rights to work of individuals. Many question if the United States government should care about issues such as minimum wage and policies to protect workers' rights, or if workers' rights make it more difficult for employers to hire workers in general. Although this is the case, the government should consider raising minimum wage in order to motivate workers. The minimum wage is currently set at $7.25 an hour, which averages out to be around $15,000 for a full-time, year-round worker.
Minimum wage stimulates the economy by increasing consumer spending without adding to state and federal budget deficits. Consumer spending drives 70% of the economy, and increasing demand is key for jump-starting production and rehiring.
I think if we believe in a minimum wage, we have got to believe in at least adjusting it to inflation. When you go to $10, keeping in mind that businesses have raised their prices since 1968, and they've raised the salaries of their managers, etc. When you go to $10, you create more consumer demand, more purchasing power, and more jobs. But we just have such a backlog on the backs of workers who desperately need a few more bucks an hour in order to make ends meet.
A majority of jobs willing to hire in the U.S. today are on the polar ends of the spectrum, neither high-paying or low-paying. In order to stabilize our economy, we must create a stronger middle class, jobs ranging from $20 to $40 an hour. This will balance the difference between the upper class and the proletariats, providing a more equal economy for the United States. Some of the middle class jobs include the mining and logging industry, transportation, and professional business services. In the past quarter, these jobs have seen little to no change in their growth and development.
Mr. President, the economy is in despair, and although we are slowly building it back up, we still have a long way to go. You must find a way to motivate the working class to get back into the work field, to create jobs, and to stimulate our economy so the U.S. remains the most powerful country in the world.
The fate of the future is in your hand.
And the American people need a leader to help guide and build our nation back to the worldwide power it once was.